Hey everybody, Rob McKenzie here. So, I haven't done a sewing video on camera yet. I'm not even sure this one will get posted. If you see it, well then you know it did. Last week I made a stuff sack for my 12 centimeter billy can. And quite a few people liked it actually when I posted it on Instagram, the pictures of it. So, yeah, one of the people was Effy Jr. He quite liked it, so I said, let me know if you want one, and I'll send you one. So he's got the 14 centimeter billy can, a little bit bigger than mine. I've got the 12, so he asked him to send me the measurements of his can just so that I knew, and so I'm going to make one tonight. We'll see how this goes. He's given me the measurements. They seem a little bit big, but I think it's not too much bigger than the one that I made. So I'm just having a look here. What do we got? It's 12. So yeah, so I think I'm going to wind up making it pretty much the same size as the one that I made, actually. Yeah. So it'll be a little bit bigger than the one that I made for myself. And we got 10. Back to the metric here. Hopefully you can see that. So what I'm doing is, I'll bring this around, maybe you can see a little bit better here. Alright, so I'm measuring out 380 mil high by 570 mil wide. So I'm going to cut out this rectangular panel, and we'll carry on with the next bit. This T had, I wish this ruler had metric on both sides, however it does not. So we want there. Okay. I'll measure, make sure that these are all straight. Yep, indeed they are. I don't know why we never got one of these before. This rotary cutter is absolutely fantastic. So much easier than scissors. I don't think I'll ever go back to scissors again after this. Right. So there's our panel. I'll pause the video, and I'll reposition everything once I get the machine and get the material put away. Okay, hopefully you can see that alright. A bit wobbly. Tighten stuff up. Right, so now do the sewing bits. Yep, got it nice there. So what I'm using is 4 ounce oh goodness me, I completely forgot the name of it. 4 ounce, it's not polyester. I'll think of it and I'll put a link somewhere, or a little note. Right, so the first thing I do is we want to sew fold one corner over. This is where the channel is going to go for the paracord. So I just fold it over on the corner. And it doesn't have to be too precise really. But this is going to form the corner of where we're going to run the paracord through. I'll back tack in there. Clear up the threads, and then lastly we're just going to cut off the corner of this flap here because we don't need that, and in fact it'll just wind up getting in the way. Okay, so it's done. Now we're just going to repeat the same on the other side. You can use the little flap as a measurement, as a guide. So we want something around about like that. Alright, so now we got that done. Next thing is to sew in just a very small hem here, just to tidy up this edge. This bit's a wee bit tricky, but not too bad. You don't want too much, otherwise you just wind up wasting the material. What about, I don't know, what's that, 1/4 inch? A couple mil anyways. Basically it's kind of as tight as you can do it. Yep, brand new roll of paracords all coming unwound on me. I'm hoping you can see everything alright. It doesn't look brilliant in the camera viewfinder. little loose threads off. You got to be careful with this material though, because it does burn very easily. It melts. All right. So that's that, and then I think I've done those ones a little bit too steep, but we'll get there. So now we just want to fold this over and sew this down so that it actually forms the channel. And this one you want to sew down quite close, basically on top of the seam that you've already sewn from the other side. Okay, we're back. Batteries. Okay, so I've done the one seam on here. Now, just want to fold it over. You want to make sure that you're folding over the seam that we've already sewn so that the rough edge is on the inside. And here we're going to make the channel that the paracord goes through for the pull. So you just want to basically fold it over. Hopefully you can see that. You know, I don't know, an inch and a bit. And then we want to sew it down. So let's see here. It looks like, what are we? We're about 15 mil actually. So 1.5 centimeters in, I suppose. Roughly thereabouts. And you want to sew, keep that even, and you basically want to sew right down on top of the other seam that we've done, so you can put right on top of the other stitches. We'll be fine. And the back tack. End, back stitch a little bit so that things don't come unraveled on you. Oh, look at that. That looks alright now. Much better. Trim off all these threads so they don't get caught up in the next step. Alright. So, what I've been doing is I've been putting that stitch on the outside. You can see that. I suppose you could fold it over this way, but because I've put the angle in here, hopefully once it's created and inverted, it's going to look this way, and it's going to have these corners exposed this way. So, we want to sew it this way. This is now going to be inside out. And now what we're going to do, simply stitch down here and down here. You want to make sure that you don't stitch over the opening, but you can stitch fairly close to the edge here. This bit's a bit important. You want to make sure that everything does line up here. And at your edges. close enough for government work, I think. And same again, we're going to go forward a few and then back up a couple. Normally I'd just keep going, but these aren't quite lined up, so I'm going to trim them off and start the stitch again along here. You can see it's not entirely lined up, but that won't matter too much. We could trim this off a wee bit. Okay, well, that makes it a little bit tidier. And now we can continue with the next bit. Okay, well, that should basically be done. Trim off these threads. And now, just turn it inside out, or inside right, I suppose. Push the corners out. And there, we have the bag. Just about complete. The only thing left to do is put the drawstring in. And I'm sure you guys know how to do that, but what I'll do is I'll bring you back once it's done and just show you the when it's actually finished. So I'll bring you back. I don't know, maybe some people don't know how to thread a bit of cord through, paracord through through a channel like this. He stabs himself with a needle. So I've taken the paracord and I've basically taken. I've measured it out as 3 times the width. So that's going to be enough to go around, plus leave a bit at the other side. So 3 times has been pretty good for me as a measurement. So, safety pin, you see that? I've just attached the safety pin to the end of the cord. One of the easier ways is if you can get a bit of flexible wire, or semi-stiff wire that you can run through and then pull it through, but the safety pin works just as well. You can push the paracord through a wee bit, and then it's just a case of, I'll do this so you can see it on the camera. Safety pin is right here, and all you're doing is bunching the material up so that you can pull it along. I'm going to continue doing this. I'll speed the video up so you don't have to watch this in real time. Okay, and there we're done. Last thing to do is fit the little lock on. This end of the cord burnt a little bit too big. Knot in the end to keep everything together. Keeps the lock from coming off as well. Okay, and there you have it. It's not waterproof because the stitching hasn't been done as such. But it will certainly be good for a pot where you can, so that you can keep all of the, all the junk off of when you've had it on the fire or whatever have you. I wouldn't recommend you put the hot pot in here because it will melt it. It's, I completely forgot what this was now. I want to think polyester, but I don't think it is. I will find it and I'll put a link someplace or a little annotation. Anyways, there you go. That's for you, Effy. That'll be in the post tomorrow for you, mate. And yeah, hope you enjoy it. You should get it. What's tomorrow? Thursday? I would think probably Friday, Saturday at the latest. And yeah, so there you go, mate. I'd like to see how well the pot fits in there because I've kept the measurements. It's slightly larger than the one that I made for myself, a little bit taller. Same size this way pretty much, but it is a little bit taller, so I'll be interested to see how your pot fits in and how much slack space there is. So yeah, the only other thing that I did on mine, but it actually turned out to be a bit of a pain, is you can run another stitch on the outside down here, and basically this just closes this and prevents it from ever opening up, but I don't think it's going to open up at all. It's a pretty solid thread in there. The thread that I'm using is Gutermann 100% polyester thread, so it's pretty strong stuff. It's certainly going to take the wear and tear that this bag will give it. This bag has. And actually, I don't know how well that's going to turn out. The double stitching, the bottom seam that you see is is part of the initial fold that we made and sewn over. And then the top one is the last one to hold it all in place. So it actually came out all right. It a little bit further apart the seams than I wanted, but it looks all right. So anyways, there you go, mate. Hopefully you like that, and looking forward to seeing you put it to some use. I know I'll certainly be putting mine to use this weekend when I'm out with the boys up in Corby. So, anyways, I'll put a link to Effy's channel as well down below. Check him out if you don't know who he is. Very nice chap. Been around for I don't know, a year, certainly a year, maybe even a little bit longer. I can't remember when he got started, to be honest. But very nice guy. Check him out. All right, guys. We'll see you.